What's going on, nerds? Welcome to another episode of the Comic Book Nerd Nation. And this week we're here with DePirate,
Hey guys.
Topher,
Greetings and salutations.
and the whole mother effing Brian.
That's the whole effing Brian, director of Awesome.
And there he is. I think I'm not an expert on eye patches or anything, but I'm thinking you might have that on either crooked or upside down.
Yeah, I think it was upside
I'm
down.
just throwing that out there. But yeah, that's just me.
Also, make sure it's not on your good eye.
Well, I don't know which eye's my good eye anymore.
You actually wait a minute. You actually had to wear one of those for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, I dropped a stack of paper in my eye.
Okay, I feel like it's time to
No
go
awesome
down.
story.
I feel like it's time to go down story time here. Let's.
I was reaching for paper up on a shelf on my desk, and then it slipped out of my hand, and just the corner of it went right in my eye. I wish I had a better story, like I was trying to save a baby from a forklift. The forklift gouged out my eye, and I had to push the forklift myself off of it, but no. It was just a stack of paper.
I was really just getting ready to say you should like come up with something super awesome. Like I was fighting this pterodactyl to the death, and it clawed me, so I had to wear
summer.
this eye patch.
Last summer I went to Kenya, and a rhino was chasing our Jeep, so I got out and threw myself in front of the rhino just to save a bus full of children.
There you go. See, now
And nuns.
that's
You
the
gotta
new
have
one.
nuns in there.
Well, the nuns were driving the bus.
Oh, okay. Very good.
That's the new story.
And now it ties together.
And that is how you became the director of Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's new in the world of comic books, nerdy goodness? Chris, you got anything?
So a couple weeks ago we talked about my theory on the Vision and the Avengers 2. I actually have an update on that. I've seen recently an unconfirmed source at Disney, who owns Marvel, Marvel Studios, indicated that Ultron in the next movie is not going to be a creation of Hank Pym or Ant-Man or anything like that, but there's a very good chance that it's going to be a corrupted version of Jarvis, Tony Stark's Iron Man artificial intelligence.
I don't like this. I don't
Well-
like this at all because they're completely changing the entire Marvel universe. Like the whole storyline around it was based on the fact that Hank Pym created this thing, and then there was a rippling effect throughout the multiverse and the different threads of time continuum, if you will. And this is just really giving it the huge boner right to the butthole.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. Any fan of comics, Marvel especially, I feel like they should be pretty comfortable with the idea of alternate universes at this point.
True.
And you have Ultimate Marvel, which told a completely reimagined version of everyone's origin story. Took the characters in slightly different directions. You have crossovers with other timelines, and you have the Exiles, and you have Age of Apocalypse, and all this other stuff. Well, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has actually even been given its own, numerical designation as far as an alternate world in the Marvel Universe. So, they've already said that they're not going to take it down the same path. And honestly, I think if they tried to do that, there's just so many stories to tell, and they'd just be rehashing, old material. So I mean, we're getting a different take on the characters in a different universe, and frankly, I'm fine with
A
that.
whole new reimagining, if you will.
Well,
Right.
if you guys go and actually Google or YouTube it, they released something from last San Diego Comic-Con 2013. It was this I guess call it a teaser of the movie. It's actually pieces of Iron Man's outfit coming together and forming, and at the end it forms the Ultron head.
So it could basically be like, if you guys have seen, I'm sure you guys have probably all seen Iron Man 3, am I correct?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
so it could basically be like all those ridiculous quantities of automated Iron Man suits that Tony Stark built during his bipolar depression, whatever that was.
Well, at the end of Iron Man 3, spoilers, whatnot, he actually destroys all the other sets of armor.
Did he
so,
destroy all of them?
Well, that's why they're pissed.
Yeah, well, it's said that obviously he kept, like one secret one around just in case, sort of thing. But all those other suits and whatnot have all been destroyed. So
We all know he can make a suit in like 2 seconds if he wants.
exactly, he's made it before. It's not like he wiped all those hard drives and forgot how.
I like what Pirate said. You said that, well, that's why they're pissed. I mean, obviously you said that as kind of a joke, but I mean, that could be an easy way to tie that in.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, if there's an advanced AI running these things and it develops some sort of feeling, if you will.
Got a robotic butt hurt.
Right. Little cyborg butt hurt action going on. I don't know.
For everybody out there, YouTube Avengers 2 Age of Ultron official Comic-Con teaser trailer. And it's the Iron Man suit kind of forming together, and at the end comes out as the Ultron head.
Now, was this a fan-made submission that they did?
No, it's the actual one.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to, if I can remember to do it, I'll try and remember to put that in the a link to that video down in the comments section for this podcast, if I can remember to do it. But no guarantees, I'm not going to lie. So,
just listen to this video and remember, kids.
Yeah, just remember. So what's up? What else is new? We've got the update on the Ultron theory there. Anybody get anything cool in the mail or anything for Christmas or anything like that?
There's talk with the Rock with DC and Warner Brothers.
That's right. That's right.
That they haven't announced anything. There's been some Twitter stuff back and forth where somebody made as a joke, like, well, I could see him play, like a Gravedigger or Jon Stewart, and Dwayne Johnson or The Rock, he tweeted back like not too far off, or haha, or something like that along the lines that he's kind of close.
Mm-hmm.
And I started thinking, like, visually, I could see him as a Jon Stewart. Acting wise, I don't see it.
Yeah,
I do, however, think I think it's a Cyborg. I think he would make an awesome Cyborg.
I agree.
Yeah.
And Cyborg is somebody that they're really trying to push. I mean, he's about to get his own release here soon.
So maybe that's what we're gonna see.
It's a possibility, but
I don't like the idea of The Rock playing a Green Lantern character, because the Green Lantern characters are all typically like pretty intellectual, and the last thing that I think when I see The Rock is an intellectual. Good for him. He's got some great movies out there. Don't get me wrong. He's got he's been wildly successful with a lot of stuff that he's done. The wrestling career, movies, TV shows, probably. I don't know. He's done all kinds of shit, but like, you look at a lot of his movies and like he's still choke slamming people on hoods of cars and like doing pile drivers and hitting them with chairs and shit. It's like a lot of it is glorified WWF wrestling or WWE, whatever the hell they call that stuff now.
Look at the Green Lantern, though. I mean, look at the way he fights. I mean, he makes giant fists and big hands and slams people still.
I mean, I agree, but that also... It's relying on his intellect to create these objects to block and to maneuver and things like that, not so much muscle.
But here's the thing, though. Like, you have Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan he's a cocky test pilot. You know what I mean? There's that side of the Green Lantern, but then you have this always serious Jon Stewart side. I mean, there's several other ones, that's been. There's another one who's like the newer one. He's in New 52. I haven't been reading. Brian probably knows what I'm talking about. The one who's played a lot in New 52.
Oh, Kyle?
Kyle Radner.
He was like an artist or something.
Yeah, he's supposed to be more of like the one who doesn't really give a fuck about anything type kind of guy, from what I've understood. But I mean, like I said, I could visually see him being Jon Stewart. I just can't see him acting it. But like I said, Cyborg would be awesome.
Yeah, I would love him as a Cyborg character, or Pirate and I talked about this a little bit before, but also if there was another Mortal Kombat movie, I could see him as like a Jax character, type of smash him up, like that kind of stuff.
Give him the people's elbow.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned. It's funny that you mentioned, Jax again, because My biggest objection to him playing, John Stewart wouldn't necessarily be, him as a Green Lantern, but as a former WWE superstar, everything he manifested would be a steel chair to hit his opponents with.
Right, exactly.
But my biggest objection
Manifests a wrestling ring so that they can fight, like duke it out.
Big giant green cage match. Match.
I'm not exactly sure where Dwayne Johnson comes from racially, but John Stewart is a very, very prominent black superhero in the DC universe, and they don't really have a whole lot of them.
No.
And I feel like the last thing they want to do is whitewash their cast anymore.
Johnson is black. He's half black and half Polynesian.
You know who they need to get, right?
Right.
They need
Who?
Denzel.
Denzel's
Right.
too old. He'd be like a Walker.
You know who would be awesome, John Stewart? That Irid Abyssus or whatever his name is.
Idris Elba.
Yeah, Idris Elba.
Pirates
That
over here
dude-
making up names and stuff
No,
now.
that dude would
It's
be
a good thing
awesome,
we
John
speak your
Stewart.
language. That's all I
I
can
know.
say.
Hey, does it make me? Does it make me dumb
They
for
don't
saying it? Or
always
you
think it'd
dumb
be
for
like it is, but it do.
You know.
Okay.
DC had a thing earlier this year actually where a couple writers quit, and it was rumored that they were quitting the Green Lantern title because they were going to kill off John Stewart, and a lot of people, there was a huge fan backlash over people getting upset that why are you going to kill off one of the most prominent African American figures in the DC universe, and they actually had to release a statement and be like, whoa, okay, we're not going to do that. Relax, we're not going to do that. So
The streets is hard, man.
I think hiring, putting anybody in that role, especially as John Stewart specifically, that that didn't fit the part would. I'm pretty sure they're paying very close attention to that kind of thing right now.
Now, have you guys? I saw something today as I was just like browsing around on different websites and Facebook and whatnot, and I saw something
Instead of working,
right, yeah, instead of working, right.
I think we all do that.
Jackass. Anyway, way to totally derail my train of thought.
sorry, go ahead. We're all very interested.
There was some, yeah, I bet you are. There was some kind of script leaked, and I didn't read too much into this. Like I said, I just kind of saw it in passing. But I was
Because you hate
wondering
spoiler alerts.
if any of you guys like heard anything about this, but like some kind of script leak or portion of a script leaked to do with the new X-Men or the next X-Men movie that has something to do with the Colossus character. I don't. Have you guys seen anything about that?
I think I saw it, but I don't. It slipped my mind.
You
Oh,
think-
he's gonna be fighting a Sentinel in the next movie. Supposedly, he's gonna be duking it out alone with Sentinel.
Okay, so that's what it was. All right, I like I said, I didn't think that it was anything like too crazy, but it was really just out of mere
Well, he
curiosity.
was in what was it?
Yeah, he's winning one or
First
two
Class.
of the other ones. Yeah.
No, I think number 3 he was in.
Oh, okay.
He was in some of the original trilogy.
Final Stand or whatever it was.
The Last
Right.
Stand.
Last
The Last
Stand.
Stand, yeah.
Pirate's so good with names.
I am. I'm awesome with names. I'm the mostest greatest at namists.
I believe that. All right, so let's talk for a minute about comic memorabilia collecting. Brian, I know you go to the New York Comic Con every year. Is it
For the past 3 years, it's been every year.
for the
Yeah, I
past
was gonna say
3
it's only
years?
been a few years, hasn't it?
That's the fastest way to blow $600 in 3 days.
I believe it. I believe that could get incredibly expensive, but
Yeah.
a ton of fun. A ton
Yeah,
of fun.
it is a good time seeing everybody dressed up, seeing everybody's failed costumes. But good for them putting in an effort. I mean,
So
I don't
In New York prices, how many comics does that get you? Like 5?
in New York with all the sales tax and everything.
Yeah.
1.5. If I get lucky, I get the good pages.
Yeah.
You don't even get all the
You
pages.
get, you get like the front cover and about the first 7 pages.
I get half a T-shirt, more like a belly shirt.
That's hot. Make sure you wear one of those on the podcast at some point.
Well, nobody buys in New York. You're just renting the comic for a little while.
I gotta send
for
it back.
for $600 you get to hold it for 10 minutes.
I have to give it back before they send agents after me.
So, before we get into too much of that stuff, I actually had something I wanted to tell you guys about. I just subscribed to this new thing. I don't know if it's new or how long it's been around, but I just found out about it like yesterday or the day before. But it's called Loot Crate. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
Okay.
To me.
So it's a website where it's kind of like Beer of the Month Club type of idea, at least. You pay a subscription fee, which is either $16 a month or X number for 3 months or X number for a 6 months or a year or whatever the different packages are. But each month they send you the quote unquote loot crate, and it's filled with like gaming / nerdy type of stuff. Like I was watching some videos on it and stuff, and like last month's. A lot of people got this T-shirt that was themed Console Wars because of the big Xbox One versus PS4 thing that was going on, and on the shirt it had like it was a Star Wars type shirt with like the AT-AT walkers and X-wing fighters and stuff, but it was all like everything was like console related. So it was like PlayStation controllers were like X-wings and like. An Xbox One was the AT-AT, and like it's all kind of stuff like that. Like you might get like a Minecraft sword, or you might get like all kinds of stuff. But I just subscribed to it.
How much is
yesterday? I think I did the 3-month deal where it was like $52 or something.
A month?
No, for 3 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is Microsoft and the Xbox are the evil empire, and the PlayStation rebels are going to free us all from their tyranny.
Well, I mean, I do love PlayStation, but I just thought it was neat. Basically, I know you guys are into a lot of the same stuff that I'm into, and except for Chris, he's into some fucking weird stuff, some kind of freaky bondage and pooping on people and all that stuff. I don't know.
Prison orgies.
Yeah.
They have can you get a midget crate?
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
Before this gets totally inappropriate and just wildly politically incorrect.
Hey, you started it.
You can put their legs over your shoulder and still put your beer on the foot.
So, anyway, Brian, let's talk about your collection. You've been to a lot of the Comic Cons. And I'm sure you've bought, as you said, you spent $600 in 3 days. So I'm sure you've got all kinds of cool stuff, like your sweet eye patch that you finally have on, correct?
Yeah, this is a signature Shield Series eye patch. Brought to you by China.
Brought to you by China, nice. So, if you had to pick just like a few items that you have collected around the comic book universe, what would be your favorites?
My Black Symbiote Spider-Man bust. Actually, it's one of my favorites because this is actually my 4th one that I've owned. I went through 3 that I broke.
You play with them too
What do you do with them?
I don't know, they just fall. Shit breaks.
What's it made out of?
Sure.
Is it like glass?
It's ceramic.
Oh, okay. So it is
I thought bust
fairly
was just
fragile.
a portion of the figure, not the fucking literal sense.
Well, no, it's a bust because it's half the dude.
Not because you bust them all.
Because I bust the shit out of them.
I bust a bust.
Oh my gosh.
It's not made out of cleanable latex. I know that.
It's not silicone either.
So that's your favorite. You got anything else that comes to mind?
That's about it.
That's
I have tons of T-shirts that are my favorite, but I'm going on a different route than the whole favorite comic issue.
I got you. What about you, Topher?
Well, I've got a bunch of random crap.
Random crap.
Got an old, X-Men have always been my favorite. So I've got some got an old Banshee, action figure still in the packaging that I totally nerd out about. But Mainly lately, my favorite stuff has been my comic collection, trying to get as many issues of X-Men as possible. So my favorites right now are my CGC graded copy of X-Men number 20 here. We'll try and get an angle that doesn't reflect
Yeah, I was gonna
Pirate's
say,
lovely
it's like
face back
like
at
a
you in the
mirror.
cam here. And and then I've got my oldest comic right now is my copy of X-Men issue number 10 from, what was that, March of 1965.
Wow, introducing
Nice.
Kazar. Nice,
Yep,
fantastic. That looks like it was in pretty good shape too for comic.
it is.
Was that a 10 cent price tag?
That's a 12 center, but
That's
Back
man.
in the day.
I wish comic books were 12 cents now.
I'd have they'd be all
Right.
over my house.
Yeah,
if
I would have a storage problem. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and go next because I have a feeling that Pirate is going to have quite a few things to tell us about. So,
You have a feeling, huh?
I've got two things. You guys know, if you've watched the last several podcasts, I'm a huge Incredible Hulk fan, and you can see all my crap back behind me or whatever. But I would say two of my favorite things are this guy right here. This is a collector's edition Incredible Hulk action figure. It's still in the package, and you're getting like just tons of glare. There we go. I like this guy because he is just incredibly detailed, and I don't know. I just like it. It's friggin' awesome.
I like it a lot.
But the other cool thing about this is they make, if you see on the back, and I don't have them yet, but I'm gonna get them. They make the Joe Cool and the Red Hulk on this same like scale and same detail and same kind of idea. So
I actually seen the Red Hawk when I went Christmas shopping.
yeah, I've
at
seen
Trader's
that one
World.
around. I've never seen the Joe
Yeah.
Cool, the Gray Hulk one anywhere, but
haven't seen that one either.
those two are definitely on my to get list for the display case that I'm currently working on building. The other thing that I'm really proud of is Incredible Hulk second series issue number 104. This is the third in the series of the Incredible Hulk, and it's the fourth appearance of the villain Rhino. And this is like a super old comic. This was from 62, late 1962, I believe, or no, 68, 1968. I'm sorry, and it's in incredible condition. This is definitely one that I'm planning on sending off to get CGC rated and vaulted and everything like that, because the color on the cover is just impeccable, and there's really not too much flaws on the cover outside of just some spine wear. But
He's the one to poke out my eyeball.
I am. Bam! Suck it. So,
I'd just like to point out that both of your Hulk things you referred to as incredible at some point.
that's because they're
I just-
goddamn incredible.
I found that amusing.
It says it on the box, dude.
Exactly.
If it says it on the box, it better be incredible. That's all I have to say about that. So, Pirate, onto your laundry list. I know Pirate personally. Let me give this a little introduction. First of all, I know Pirate personally. So does Topher, and I know I have a real good idea of exactly what he's going to show us, and he's got some really neat stuff. So,
Well, I'm just going with comics today. I didn't dig out any action figures or anything like that. Let's see here. First, this is it's no longer my most expensive comic, but this is probably my favorite comic. And the only reason why, it's a Death of Superman black bag, but it's officially bought in Metropolis. I got this when I was like 14, and it's funny because like at the time in 94, 90, or 93 or 94, actually I was 93, it was a $75 guide value, and the comic had only been out like, a year or so.
yeah.
And I bought it for $45. Now, $15 eBay all day long. So
Good
goes to show
investment.
goes to show you that fucking modern day comics aren't worth shit.
But the memories around that, you actually
But yeah,
had to go to Metropolis, right?
I bought I was right by the Daily Planet. It was at the Superman museum. I mean, it was amazing. It was definitely, like
That's
I said,
cool.
this is One of my favorite comics.
I'm feeling like a video logged field trip, like an on-site comic book nerd nation from Metropolis, might have to happen at some point.
I'm down. I'm down.
We might have to make that happen.
Another thing I got here is I have some New 52 comics, Batman 1 and 2, written by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. Nothing fancy, but they're autographed by Greg Capullo, which I did not get this signed by him. So can I confirm it that they're actually his signatures? No.
I signed them and sold them to you.
But I sure as hell hope so for what I paid for them.
Well, I got a ton of comics in the other room. I can go sign a couple of them up by the writer and sell them to you. If you're gonna pay top dollar, I'll take care of that.
If you want the rest of that series, I can.
I got some bills that need paid. I'm just saying.
Right. Then I got my oldest comic here. I decided to throw in. It's Green Lantern, number 9, December 1960. Not in the best shape, but it's cool. It's got Sinestro on the cover. And Fox, he's purple, so and so yeah, that's actually the second appearance of Sinestro in this one.
Nice.
And then this one I had to throw in just because Topher is such an X-Men fan. Giant-sized X-Men number 1.
Still bitter.
Topher, you want to enlighten the story on this one?
So we found an issue of this in our local comic store, and we went and looked at it, and it was in not great shape, and they wanted too much for it. So we passed on it. But a couple weeks later, since we've been talking about it so much, he's over at a friend of his house, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, I got a bunch of old comics just sitting in a box in my closet and whatnot. Sure, you want to look through them?" And he starts going through, and he finds all these gems in there, and that one. And he calls me, and he's like, he tells the guy, he's like, "Hey, I got a buddy who might be interested in buying that." So he calls me, and he says, "Hey, we got this giant-size X-Men number 1 here. Are you interested?" And I'm like, "Yeah, take some pictures, send me, let me see the quality, let me know how much he wants for it, and yeah, definitely let me know." So, a few hours later, I'm still waiting, and finally I get a group text, not even just to me, he sends it to several of us, and he's like, "Hey guys, just want to let you know I've got some cool new comic books. I bought Giant Size X-Men number 1 and a bunch of other crap for my buddy. And got the whole, like all these 10 old comics from the 60s for like $200 total. It was pretty awesome." And I'm like, dick.
That's my comic.
Hey, if I ever decide to sell it, though, you do get first dibs on it. I'm just saying.
Right.
And it won't be too much of a price difference from what I paid for it. Slight, probably more, but
gotta make a little bit of money.
Topher can afford it.
Well,
if you've seen his X-Men collection, he can.
I've heard that any comic you buy, decreases in value by about 2/3 by the time you look at the value.
By the time you sell it to a friend.
That's why I haven't read it yet.
I'll buy that. I'll buy that whole lot from you for $75.
No, I haven't read it. There's no miles on it. Don't worry.
So, Brian.
Yo.
What are you reading lately?
Lately, I've been reading, Forever Evil, of course, which I'm still waiting on the 5th book of the series.
The 5th book in the series is January this month?
Sometime, yeah, probably the end of the month, since the last one came out right before Christmas.
Does Arkham War 4 come out this week? Wednesday? Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Which I thought was weird.
Or today, whenever this video is posted.
Yeah.
Yeah. On New Comic Book Day.
I've been reading The Avengers, which is pretty good.
Brian, you literally look like you're sleeping right now.
I can't. My eye doesn't know.
You can't even keep your eye open.
I was gonna say, you literally look like you were sleeping. I was like,
because the whole thing over your eyes is like, one eye's closed, the other one wants to go. But I've been reading The Avengers, which is pretty good. They just started a new storyline, so it hasn't really explained itself yet.
Is it the Avengers AI or is it a different one?
Oh no, it's just the regular Avengers title.
Okay.
And then from time to time I'll read Superior Spider-Man, which I'm not. I just want Peter Parker back.
I heard that they were getting rid of that series actually. I can't remember where I read that, but I read somewhere that they were. I don't think it's immediate, but I think that it's on the horizon that they're gonna kick that title.
Well, we all know probably by the movie they'll bring Peter back
Yeah,
by the time the next movie comes out.
so I don't know. I've been loving the Forever Evil stuff. I've been reading that as well.
It's that right now that is probably my favorite series going on right now. Even though it'll end in a few months, but I just think the story's great, the writing's great, and just all the action and stuff.
Yeah, it's very interesting for sure.
Plus, Jeff Johns is probably my favorite writer.
The Avengers. You mentioned that you've been reading the Avengers, and I've purchased online on Comic Collector Live. I got the Avengers. What was it? Avengers AI series, like 1 through 9 or whatever it is that's current, and I hate it. I really
never
hate
read it.
I read the Age of Ultron series and loved it, and it leads into the Avengers AI. It's like a tail off or a spin off or whatever you want to call it, but I don't know. I read the first issue and a half and literally closed the book and put it back in the bag, and I was just like, this isn't. I'm just not enjoying this right now. I don't know. Which is weird for me because that doesn't happen very often. That halfway through a comic book, I'm like, you know what? I'm not really, whatever. So I don't know. Maybe at some point I'll come back and pick it up, but as of right now, it's definitely not one that I could recommend to anybody watching this podcast. I mean, if you've got some other opinions on it, any of you or anybody that's watching this, let me know in the comment section or something. But not a fan. Not gonna lie.
To me, that series makes Hank Pym irrelevant. It's him and a bunch of robots running around trying to stop other robots, from what I understand.
Yeah, basically. It's just a little bit, I don't know. But another thing that I picked up recently was Harley Quinn, #1. I read Harley Quinn 0, and I know we talked about this. In Pirate, you didn't really care for that book in particular because of the way that it was written. I loved Harley Quinn 0, and here's why. When I read that book, it was like I got the feeling that they were auditioning, she was in the place of the editor, and she was auditioning different artists and writers, or specifically artists, I guess, really, but to do the book. And I thought it was really cool that they pulled in all these famous artists to kind of collaborate on one book, and that was a clever way, I thought, of doing that without just doing one panel by one person, another panel by another person, and having a continual storyline through about something completely unrelated. So by making it like that, it at least made sense why they were changing artists across the board. But I have not gotten a chance to read the first issue of Harley Quinn yet, #1.
I have it. The only thing is though, like you said, I wasn't a fan of the way. I agree that it's a cool way of introducing it in the 0 issue, which is the first time in the New 52 that they've done.
Right, because it didn't give any origin either. It didn't give any character
it wasn't an origin, and so it was cool that they did that. I just didn't like the flow of it as I read it. That was my problem with it. And I don't even know which writer and artist got the actual issue. I have it, but remember. I didn't even look to see any further. There's so many other things I've been reading right now that I was like, well, Harley will just wait.
I remember really enjoying it because it was so much different than the other 0 year type of stuff. But what other kind of stuff have you been reading, Pirate?
I've been catching up on my Deadpool, especially now that they got the marriage the marriage issue coming out, which I'm curious to see what kind of chaos.
Did the rest of you guys hear about that? The Deadpool.
Yeah, who is he marrying though?
I don't know, and I can't wait to find out.
I don't know what's because I'm current on my Deadpool, but right now he's got some beef with S.H.I.E.L.D. Because there's some inside stuff going on. Like he just had some issues with like weapon, like creator who created him with Weapon X Plus, and he teamed up with Wolverine and Captain America.
The
and
Good,
goes
Bad,
to-
and the Ugly series.
Yeah, and ends up in North Korea.
The Korean X-Men.
Yeah, and they make this like like messed up looking versions of all the X-Men. But after all that, he finds out that he has a daughter, and the lady who he banged right before the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly series.
You make it sound so romantic.
Oh yeah, he got up on them guts. But yeah, so he knocks her up and finds out in North Korea that he's got a daughter, and then the girl that he knocked up, she was killed by the camp guards.
Okay,
and,
so I think that it's only fitting. I think it's only fitting that with Deadpool getting married soon, he's got a baby on the way.
well, he's got a kid out running around somewhere. Well, they don't know if it's dead or alive right now.
Well, I think that we need to have a bachelor party for Deadpool. I'm just saying. I mean, as
April.
genuine comic book nerds, I think this is our duty to have. You got to have a bachelor party for Deadpool at this point.
I'll bring the guns.
I'm just saying. Who do you invite, Topher? Who do you invite? Who's the top 2 people? We'll say on your on the invite list for Deadpool's bachelor party.
Man, that's a toughie. I'm gonna have to throw Wolverine in there because I mean he and Wolverine are.
Because you have a hard on for X-Men.
Because Wolverine.
No.
hates
Because exactly. Because
he
he's
was
got
the
this
last
like
person who would want to be there.
exactly. He's got this huge I don't know, like this best friend complex thing going with Wolverine. He's always like, oh, Wolverine, and like it's just hilarious how he always thinks that like Wolverine's his best buddy. They got the whole Weapon X connection thing, and Wolverine's always just wants no part of it. So I think that would be hilarious. But I mean, I gotta think that the best man would have to be Cable. I mean, the two of them have always been buddy. They had their own series together.
Another guy who dislikes him.
Deadpool's personal teleporter, was given to him by Cable. There's all that. So I mean, I think he'd probably be the best candidate. But it would be amusing to have Wolverine there just to just for the banter
miserable.
between them. Exactly.
Brian,
Because
what about you? Who would you
I love
invite?
seeing Wolverine miserable.
Who would I invite?
Who would you invite?
Those are my answers. Wolverine and Cable. I mean, those are the 2 people he's with most of the time.
This is going to be a lame party. There's only going to be like 3 people here. Pirate, what about you? Who are you going to invite?
Wolverine killed everybody.
Let's see. All right, if it was Deadpool, shit. Well, you got to have Wolverine and Captain America there because they're both basically like whether they know it or not, they're like, brothers because they've all had like the same foundation laid. The super soldier type, creation. Even though I don't see Captain Rogers really doing too much at a bachelor party. He's the designated driver. We'll give him that.
Both he and Wolverine can't even get drunk because of their healing
Right.
abilities.
Well, I don't think Deadpool can either, even though he always drinks and always wants to drink.
Pretty lame
let's see.
bachelor party now.
Yeah, maybe we need just strippers and cocaine. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, nobody would want to show up to his fucking bachelor
I'm
party.
gonna mix it. You know what? I'm gonna mix it up. Just to make this interesting, because this already sounds like a total snooze fest of a bachelor party, and you got to have some form of action. I'm going to say Magneto and Nick Fury.
Really?
Just to throw a total wrench in the cogwheel, if you will.
Well, we also
Okay,
know that Deadpool
now you gotta
also
tell why.
has all the voices in his head.
Because you've got like the quintessential good guy that just runs all of the good characters. He, you know what I'm saying? Like he basically is the boss of the Avengers, if you will. And on the opposite end, you have Magneto, which is like the kingpin of Marvel, of the Marvel universe as far as the villain side of things go. He's like the most notable. So just by adding those two, I feel like just based on primal instincts alone, they're not going to get along. So that's going to cause some shit. And
well, I think Nick Fury. I mean, I think he'd get along because right now, Deadpool's got Agent Preston stuck in his head, which is like a middle-aged, oversized black woman who he has conversations with in his head. So I'm sure Preston would be having conversations with Fury.
no, I'm not saying that Nick Fury couldn't get along with Deadpool. I'm saying that Nick Fury couldn't get along with Magneto.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's when stuff would start popping off, and then you got Wolverine's already there. We know Wolverine hates Magneto. I mean, now it's just gonna be a shit show from there on out.
Well, I think you put anybody there in Deadpool. I mean, it's gonna be a shit show. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen because did you guys see the wedding invitation where it said you're
It looks
cordially
like
invited?
everybody's there.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
had like a ton of people.
And then like at the end it was like reception and chaos to follow after ceremony. So it's like
Should be interesting. I'm definitely very interested to read that. I don't keep up with the Deadpool series at all. I have maybe 4 Deadpool comics, very
Yeah.
few. I do want to play the video game that was released like last year or the year before. That always looked pretty funny and interesting to me
Oh,
to play.
it was mindless fun.
Yeah,
There's really no story to it. It's just chaos.
Yeah, that looked pretty fun to me, but I definitely want to read this wedding issue story arc. I don't know how long it's going to be, if it's going to be 2 or 3 issues or 5 issues or whatever, but I definitely will. That's something that I'm going to pick up and read through for sure.
Which is probably, I mean, if they've been doing like they have been like 5-issue runs with his shit and then one in between, I mean, I don't even know how it's worked because let's see, it's in April.
It'll
And
probably be
they're-
a 5-issue run then.
Well, no, but I mean like leading up to right now because he's in battle with Shield. So it's right now it's Deadpool versus Shield. So let's see, that was last month. December started that. January, February, March, April. So the 5th one would be the wedding. So Agents vs. Shield number 5, if they do it.
If they
If
stick
they've
with
been doing
yeah.
it, it'll be the wedding issue.
Hard to say. Maybe we'll have
he
to.
finds Preston and marries Agent Preston.
Yeah.
I don't know.
As Brian pointed out, like even when Deadpool's the only one in the room, it's still a party with all the friends
Yeah.
and but I mean,
Chungus for everybody.
I think you got to also invite, Weasel, his best friend, and I think it would be amusing if he drug Blind Owl along to the bachelor party too, because she wouldn't even see what was going on the entire time.
And don't forget Bob, Agent of Hydra.
Right, Bob, Agent of Hydra, and you've got
Addison
Lady
will be there.
you can have Lady Deadpool and all the alternate universe versions come and hang out, and
Even Headpool.
right.
I think we're gonna
I
have to
wonder
have
if
I think we're gonna have to have a
Carmelito
wedding issue.
comes back. Yeah, that's gonna be a wedding issue.
No, I think that us, the Comic Book Nerd Nation crew, I think we're gonna have to have a wedding edition, a wedding episode, if you will. Maybe we can all get dressed up in our Sunday's finest for Deadpool's wedding and.
Ooh,
and,
why
do
don't
a
we just take the
podcast.
video? Why don't we just take the video camera to the strip club, do his bachelor party?
I feel like you would probably get arrested for that.
Why, dude? I know strippers.
They're thrown out.
I can just think of so many ways where this could just take the wrong turn ever. Like
Miles,
the worst wrong turn
Fox,
ever.
one of our good friends is married to one. We got this covered.
Yeah, we're not going to go down that road.
I'm kind of interested to see who he ends up marrying because I mean a lot of the character's history, he's always he's been extremely in love with Death, with the character of Death.
The guy
And so-
crashes murder scene pads. Like that's where he goes to bed at night. He
Right,
finds a
so,
murder scene and shows
like,
up.
I feel like if it's anybody other than Death, he's settling, But if it is Death, then now he's going to start a fight with Thanos.
Should be really interesting. That's definitely something that's up and coming that I am definitely looking forward to. I saw, just like the rest of you, I saw that wedding invitation deal, and that looked to be pretty interesting to me. But that being said, is there anything else coming up that you're looking forward to, Brian?
Well, hopefully, I'm hoping that soon, maybe after the Super Bowl-ish, we'll get an official Guardians of the Galaxy trailer for the movie coming later this year.
Yeah,
Oh,
when does
really?
that come out?
August?
August or
Yeah,
July?
August 1st.
Oh,
Okay.
I think somewhere around August. I know Captain America, which I'm looking forward to, comes out Damn it.
April.
April.
That's, yeah, I was gonna say that's closer than that even.
It goes.
they-
It's gonna do. I think it's gonna go Captain America, and then August 1st,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, and then it's gonna be Age of Ultron, then Ant-Man. I think.
Yeah.
Age of Ultron happening this year? I thought that was happening
No,
next
it's
year.
No, next
2015,
year.
but
Yeah,
that's the
okay.
X-Men movies. Like
Okay.
for the following. That's according to Marvel's website. I was just looking at
Oh,
it today
okay,
on their
okay.
movie selection.
But they just released like an official first photo from Guardians of the Galaxy with all the characters lined up,
Yeah.
and it looked pretty cool. I mean, I'd rather see footage than a picture, but
Now,
hopefully soon.
Oh, that's another
Topher,
issue.
you have the comic book, the first appearance. You have 2 copies of the comic book of the first appearance of the Guardians of the Galaxy, don't you?
Do I have 2? I don't know if I have 2.
I think
I
you
have one.
You definitely have one for sure. I remember.
I have
seeing it.
one. It's Amazing Fantasy number 18-ish, I think.
I thought it was 16, but I could be wrong.
I
can't remember.
don't remember the exact number, but yes, I do.
That's awesome. That could become a very valuable. If this becomes a blockbuster hit, that could be a winning lottery ticket right there.
Did
I'm
you
sure
guys see
hoping.
that this month the first crossover of Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy come out? First, where they're in both in the same issue.
Really?
Yeah, it was
And
on
what-
Marvel's website.
What book is that going to be in?
It's going to be like both the same one. It's Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy #1.
Oh, so it'll be a whole new. It'll be a whole
Yeah,
new.
it'll be a whole new
book.
run.
Okay. That's kind of interesting.
So,
I haven't.
Movie prep
thought about
reading,
that.
I
yeah,
guess.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Kind of
Just-
like Superman, Batman run in the New 52.
Yeah, exactly. Just building the hype around
Yeah.
it. You've been reading Pirate. You've been reading the Batman Superman stuff, haven't you?
Yep.
How's that been?
It's kind of confusing at first because they basically Superman and Batman from our Earth end up in a fight and end up in like a rift type thing, and they end up on Earth, not Earth 2, but one of the other parallel Earths of the Infinity Crisis syndrome type thing, and there's a young Superman and young Batman. Or wait, yeah, young Superman, young Batman, and they're kind of meeting each other up, and it introduces a lot. It's kind of tricky to follow because the Kents are in there, and the Kents are different. Superman meets young Superman, and he's like telling him stuff like, "Oh, I didn't learn how to do that until I was 22 or 29 or something like that." So like the one can't fly, he just jumps around, kind of like Action Comics. But
Like a rabbit.
yeah, it's
Like an
pretty
overpowered
good.
rabbit.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't read the later ones. I have them. Like last night, I just read the Dark Side Villain one, which was kind of confusing, and mostly dealt with Supergirl. But the first 4 are pretty.
I might have to borrow those from you. It doesn't sound like something that I'd be interested enough in purchasing. There's too much stuff already out there.
Yeah, and I mean number 7. I think they're at number 7 right now, and it comes out this week. So I'm up to 6. I just haven't read 5 and 6 yet.
On a side note, and this is something that I want to know for my own personal collection. Have any of you read Death of the Family?
Yes.
The Batman book, or I don't know if it's a trade
It's
paperback.
With the Joker coming
It was
back.
comic.
Yeah, it was a
420
crossover story, but they did a collected
426.
version for centered around the Joker. I've got the hardbound actually. I just picked it up, but I haven't had a chance to read it yet.
Yeah, I really.
Do
I'm
you
interested
guys
in
know
getting
the
that, too.
history of that story? How that even came to be?
No, but we'll talk about that next week, so I can have a week to get it and read it before you ruin it for me.
No, it has nothing to do
Because
with
we all know about your previews,
No,
which are the
it's
ones that
nothing to
like
do
give
with
away
the
all the
actual
details.
information. No, it has to do with how they wrote the story.
His previews are like those movie trailers that like are 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but include literally every cool moment in the entire movie.
No, all it
And
is,
then
it
on
has
page
nothing to do with
47, everyone dies.
that. Have
You
you
get
got to the
punched
part
in the
where
nuts.
where so and so?
Yeah, have you haven't? Yeah, that's how it always ends up being. Is oh, did you see like okay the Arrow, the series The Arrow? I was not interested in it. Whatever. I finally got hooked, and
I haven't seen it yet. Should I
And,
plug my ears at this
no,
point?
no, you're fine. I'm not going to give anything away. But like, he was asking me like, how do I like it? You know, blah blah blah. Is it going well? Like, what part are you at? And I was like, I don't know. I'm on like the 6th or 7th episode or something like that. And he was like, well, have you gotten to the part where this happens and this person dies, or have you gotten to the part where this happens? Like, no. Thank you for kicking my puppy dog in the face. Thank you for
But
that.
anyways, on that death of a family, it was
You punted
based off
Baxter
of a
off the
1-800 number. Like
I'm in
every
a glass
issue that,
cage of emotion.
every issue that came out, it was the fans could call into a specific 800 number. Like, do you want this to happen or this to happen? So they'd call into an 800 number if they wanted one thing to happen, and another number if they wanted another thing to happen. And that's what completely led to the whole story and how it was written.
Wait, are you
DC
talking about?
actually-
Are you talking about the new Death of the Family or the
No,
old
no, the
Jason
original.
Todd Death
the Jason
in the
Todd,
Family?
Death
That's
in the Family.
yeah, that's Death in
Oh,
the Family.
no,
I'm
that's-
talking
Oh,
about
that's
yeah,
what
the
you
new
were
that's
one.
Death in the
about.
Family.
I'm talking
New
about Death
57.
of the Family,
Of the
no,
Family.
no.
which
But
is
I-
like the new one that's
Yeah,
out,
I
and you can
listened
get the
to
hardback cover.
Yeah, I listened to a podcast on that one. It's not what it sounds like. I'll tell you that much.
Well, don't ruin it for us, because
I won't.
Brian, you've probably read it, haven't you?
Yeah, the Joker's a twisted fuck in that one.
Would you? How many stars? Out
But
of
that's
5
why we
would you
love
give?
him.
How many stars?
out of 5
Out
stars.
of 5? I'd give it a fair even 2.5.
Okay, so 50% good.
Yeah, I mean, there's no like planets blowing up and stuff like that to give it 5 stars astonishing, but I think for the first
So
new
basically,
50...
you can't get 5 stars unless you commit complete and total genocide.
Yeah, genocide of the universe, just...
Okay.
What?
Just making
Wait,
sure.
just as a staple, what would you have given the Killing Joke?
The Killing Joke, out of 5, I would have given that a 5. That was an
Okay.
awesome story.
I just wanted. Okay.
I need to read that one too. That's another one that I have not read.
Oh, that's.
I'll lend it to you.
Okay, yeah, definitely bring that to work tomorrow. Actually, those of you who don't know, me, Topher, and or myself, Topher, and Pirate all work together. So, and then Big Daddy Brian
New
is
York.
coming to us from New York.
Yeah.
So, well, that about wraps it up for our hour-long episode. We're not writing anything, so how could this be an issue? I don't know. But that about wraps it up for our hour-long episode of the Comic Book Nerd Nation. Some quick news. If you're still with us, you must be a fan, so we'll go ahead and let you know now that myself and Pirate have been in contact with owner-operator of comicrelated.com, and we will be having him on a future episode of the podcast as a guest host. And we also will be having some coverage later this year from the Derby City. That's the Derby City Comic Con in Louisville, Kentucky. He
As
is
well
the
as the
owner of
Cincinnati
that,
Comic Con.
and the Cincinnati Comic Con. We will cover that as well. So lots of exciting stuff in the works coming soon. So we appreciate all the support so far. If you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, share it on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you can find some comic book nerds on the street corner. Sometimes they're hanging out there. You never know. I know that's where Topher likes to hang
Hustling comics.
And don't get AIDS, kids. Stay away from AIDS.
out. Yeah, there is that. So, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Brian,
At ease.
Topher,
Ciao.
Pirate.
Have a good one.
Yeah, I just totally speechless after Brian's sign off there. So we'll just leave it at that, and we will, or you could just give it the live long and prosper. But
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
we'll see you next week.